Let's start the
Crazy.
show. It's very late.
Well, Sean's not here, so it won't go that long.
Yeah, and even though we had a 2 week break, I still only watched one movie. So,
Yeah, I only watched one movie too.
I watched more than that, but I can't
guys,
remember.
what does your your shirt say?
Oh, it's got
Family
you
Love?
watch-
one for coffee.
This is
I
Gog's
love that.
vacation week, so you watched the same things you watch every vacation.
Well, you must have watched.
That is correct.
You must have watched a movie in the cinema because you sent me that long rant about Mamiya Mumumos.
No, I did not.
Oh,
It's
you
fun.
didn't.
Okay, we'll get into it.
Let's
Welcome
get
to
into
the
the show.
podcast.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right, Movie the Podcast. We're back, full speed, full steam, and we are
We're
going to
not.
talk
We're
about.
not even. We're down. We're down.
We're down a
man.
whole man, but the
We're down a
steam's
whole-
still here.
Down a
Three
whole
quarters, full steam, 3/4 beef.
We're down a
Three-quarter
whole
beef
ass
and full
man.
steam.
Whole ass man is gone.
And this week, speaking of foodstuffs, we watched a Paprika, and we're going to talk about it. But real
Paprika
quick,
is-
let's
it's
find out.
Smoked peppers, right? That's what
I think
paprika
it's
is.
like
the
I think
spice.
if you take actual bell peppers and like get them dry and
I
grind them
use
up,
it
I
in
think-
food all the time.
Yeah,
I
big in
don't-
barbecue. Big in
Yeah,
barbecue.
I use it all the
Paprika
time.
is like the perfect thing to just put on chicken.
Paprika, yeah.
So what's the
Dried,
difference?
ground
So
red
what's the
peppers.
difference between paprika and there is like I have like a red pepper ground red pepper.
So that's like spicy.
Oh, okay.
Versus
This is
paprika.
paprika's just boring red peppers. Like
Yeah.
But like red pepper flake is like seasoned red peppers
It's
that
like
then
this-
dry.
It's
no,
like
that's like-
chilies.
yeah,
and like,
crushed. This is like the boring like red peppers you dice up for like cheesesteak.
oh,
yeah.
okay.
Like
just take-
red,
yeah.
yellow, green peppers.
you take a red bell pepper, dry it up,
Bell
and
pepper,
mash
that's
into
it.
mash into a powder.
Okay.
But to answer
Yeah,
the question,
I put bell peppers in my chili, but I can't ever determine if they actually add any flavor.
dude, no, I actually
They
a
don't.
roasted bell pepper is like
Yeah.
real good on a sandwich, like real
Anyway.
good and good in the sauce.
I'd rather roasted chilies or hash or something like that.
It's true. You can have, but
You
you
mean
can
like-
have both.
Especially on like a cheesesteak. Like, I don't like roasted like a bell, not banana. What's the
There's, like-
like the banana peppers, like the
or like the cherry peppers? The
Yeah.
cherry,
Yeah, the
like
cherry peppers are good. Yeah.
well, those are like pickled, and those have like a little.
yeah.
I'm saying like I put roasted red peppers on an Italian hoagie. I'm telling you, it's
Never been a big
life-affirming.
fan of like the roasted red peppers. I think it's the texture more than the
It's slimy. It's a little slimy.
yeah, it's the texture
I like
more than the flavor. I can't can't do it.
Welcome to Foodie the podcast.
Foodie the podcast.
It's the Fat Boys podcast.
Yeah, now that Sean's gone, the cats can play.
The
Wait, that's not
Andrew
how that
Tate,
goes.
the Andrew Tate of our show is gone, so now the Fat Boys are here. The
Yeah.
Fat Boys reign.
Our alpha, who's wanted for Romanian sex crimes, is not here. So
Let's not put that on Sean. We can just stop. We can. Just
I
start
said
with the
he's
Andrew-
not wanted for Romanian sex crimes.
Okay.
But to answer your previous question, to get back to Movie the Podcast, that's right, Movie the Podcast. I was talking about Maria Mamumos because I caught her on a Shell gas station TV.
Pause real quick. I know, like, we live in like a cyberpunk dystopia that really fucking sucks. Like, we just do. We do.
Yeah.
I think nothing points that out more than the guy that was like, I know, I need to put TV ads in your fucking gas station.
Like,
pump.
it was like
Cheddar
and
News.
it was Maria Mamumos.
Yeah,
And she was here with pickle news, and they're just talking about like weird
so
headlines.
fucking-
Are giraffes all gonna be gay?
You're right. It's those.
That's a
weird-
hell of
big
a
goal.
headline.
It's
Yeah.
those weird like listicle articles that like your
Yeah, it's like,
boomer
it's like if
aunt posts.
BuzzFeed got programmed into like a replicant. Like that's all you would get.
But it
Oh
really
hell
is, though,
yeah!
like,
That sounds amazing.
it is the most like milk
BuzzFeed that I don't have to read.
But I mean, there is no difference between that and like Blade Runner future, except it's just lame as shit. Like we got
Yeah.
all, you know how in, like Blade Runner 2049, there's that scene where Kay is just walking down the street and there's all that like projection advertisements, very cyberpunk. But we got that. Like you walk down, you don't even go to like a Run of the Mills mall, and they have all these big projectors with like shitty ads, like big screen TVs.
I mean, they're doing
and,
it
like,
now in traffic. Like you'll
Yeah.
see those projector trucks that are just showing you ads now
I
in
know.
traffic. Like it's like We're right. We're here. Like, it's less neon and rainy. I would like it to be those.
Yeah, and it's not like sex shops. It's like Dawn soap.
No,
And they have like a new, like, I legit saw this the other day. Dawn, you know that fucking lid that ketchup has had for 55 years now that has like the flat lid that you can just squeeze down? You know, everybody know what I'm talking about? Well, Dawn has innovated that now for soap.
Unbelievable.
Like, that's their big innovation. Like, oh my God.
Unbelievable. They came up with a flip top for soap.
You would not believe the push they have made at the stores. Like they sent like displays of it. They sent like directions, or not directions, but like in like information packets about it, like talking points.
Like
you would think
the soap was so hard to begin with.
You would think that like I don't even know how to like what to compare it to.
Like somebody's like we you know what, I was dabbling with the idea that we should make a movie the podcast TikTok because I love TikTok so much, but I have this idea now of like somebody's like the directions for the soap, and they get the capped soap, and they're like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck am I
like? Are they like? Do they give out like elevator pitches and talking points for you guys to make on the end caps? Like, what are we doing?
No, but they'll like, because I guess they're anticipating like people complaining because this is not in addition to the Dawn bottles. This is replacing them, and some people will complain, so they set these like talking points. But like, God. I think they're overestimating how much people care.
Can you imagine being the copywriter for Dawn that has to write that stupid bullshit? Like,
can you imagine being the customer that's going to complain about it? Because I'm sure there are.
Oh, they're going to.
The whole reason that they had to come up with that. Yeah. Can you imagine being that like?
Yeah.
Absurd.
Yeah.
And ridiculous.
That's why I buy good old Ajax or whatever the cheapest fucking soap. I forget. I think it's Ajax. Anyway. I'm sorry, we haven't talked in like 2 weeks, so that's why we're just chatting about all kinds of stuff. You guys get a real potpourri of Movie the Podcast.
This is what it's like in real life, hanging out with the cast of Movie the Podcast.
It really is, to be honest. Like, yeah, we could do like a live stream, and you'd be like, "This is exactly how they talk on the show."
Yeah. This is super boring.
This is bad.
Yeah, it's actually there's a lot more just dead silence, or us going, huh.
There's a lot of just well, just one chuckle laughs.
Yeah, or like, we make a little joke and we're like,
what doesn't translate well is when we like look at the screen, look at each other, then point at the screen and raise our eyebrows. Like,
I still like one of my favorite friend moments, possibly ever, and it's exactly what Gogs is talking about, was when I believe all of us saw Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. And
I did not. I was not.
You weren't in there? I thought you were for some reason.
I think it was you guys. You might have had like, I don't know. It was you three.
It was me and my girlfriend at the time. And I remember 10 minutes into the movie, like I just happened to look at Sean, and he was like 3 people down from me, and he literally just looked at me with this stone face and just did 2 big thumbs down. It was the funniest goddamn thing. And he was right, to be
He was
fair.
very accurate. Yeah, he nailed it.
Oh my God. Batman. You know what, though? We talk about that movie so much. That movie has clearly made a very big impact on us in our lives.
I mean,
in a weird way.
Yeah, like I mean, say what you will.
I think about that
it has evoked emotion.
Yeah. I think about that movie all the time, and I hate it. But anyway. All right, let's get into what we watched the last 2 weeks. Vacation Boy, Gogs, you go first.
Alec called it right off the bat. I'll just run down the list. Of the
I'm gonna.
Ooh, here we go. I watched 4 movies, Alec.
Okay, Jaws.
Yes. Nice.
Animal House.
Yes.
Jesus Christ, this is ridiculous. If you get the next one.
Ghostbusters?
Incorrect.
Good guess, though. Good guess.
I'll give you 2 more guesses.
Caddyshack?
No.
I don't know. I can't win now anyway. So
The Big Lebowski and
that was a good one.
And My Cousin Vinny.
I should have known The Big Lebowski.
Bangers.
Your father-in-law posted something about that.
Mm-hmm.
I should have got that one.
But all four movies, back to back to back to back bangers. See previous years of dogs coming back from vacation.
You can't go wrong with any of those movies.
Nope. I feel like I did pick up on something on Jaws. I think you always pick up on something on Jaws, but it escapes me, and it's still probably maybe the best movie ever made.
It's so good. They just, or maybe it already happened. I can't remember what movie I was in, but they were re-releasing it in theaters again for some reason. I forget
every
why.
Year.
Oh, they're gonna do that CGI shark.
God, I am just like it's gonna happen, right? Like I can't believe it hasn't happened already. Like maybe it has to take Spielberg dying first or something, but like they're gonna remake it.
Does he have like enough clout and money that he could have like bought the rights to all his properties back?
Maybe not all of them, but probably Jaws. Like
he's probably got one of them. Like whoever 20th Century Fox or.
Because you got to think too, like on top of Steven Spielberg being, fucking Steven Spielberg, he produces a lot of movies. Like he produced all the Transformers movies. So like that alone, like, can you imagine how much money he made off the fucking Transformers movies? Speaking of money, and again, this is our potpourri episode, so enjoy. I texted this to you guys, but I still can't get over this because I saw an interview with Russell Crowe. And I can't imagine this, but he was, so when they were making Lord of the Rings, right, it was New Line Cinema. It was kind of their like last ditch effort as a studio.
That's a hell of a final swing.
Yeah. And so they already threw out the idea that they were going to make all three movies at once. It was a big budget. I forget the budget for them at the time, but it was still pretty big. But they didn't really have any like stars in the movie. So they offered it to Russell. They offered the Strider, Aragorn. I always forget his other name. Aragorn, excuse me. They offered that role to Russell Crowe. And then Russell Crowe would be like the biggest name in the movie. And he turned it down. Now, they offered him lower than his usual rate, but they offered him like points on the back end is what they say. So he would have gotten like, I think 10% of like the entire worldwide gross of the movie. And the article I read after this interview did the math and he would have made something like $260 million. He turned it down.
What did he turn it down for? Was it for Gladiator?
No, he had already done Gladiator by then. Gladiator was 99.
Oh no.
So this was like coming off the heels of Gladiator. So this was him at his like hottest. So like he probably turned it down to do, I don't remember, like Cinderella Man or something. But it doesn't matter. He would have made
$1 billion.
$250 million or something insane. And he's like, nah, I gotta stick with my rate.
The first one came out in what, 2001?
Yeah,
I believe so, yeah.
So you gotta
figure
A Beautiful Mind.
Yeah. And you also gotta figure like
A Beautiful Mind came out in 2001, Master and Commander came out in 2003.
Both good movies.
Yeah.
I'd like to rewatch Master and Commander at some point. I remember liking that.
I really like Master and Commander.
I had a weird
fun fact. Master and Commander is where the fucking QAnon people get that where we go one, where we go all.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
I know it's where you get hold fast written across your knuckles.
Yeah. That's a good movie. You know what? Hot take. Beautiful Mind is probably the only good Ron Howard movie.
I will always defend Apollo 13.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'd have to look at all his. I know it's not Solo.
I enjoyed that movie that we watched, that racing movie, but it wasn't great. It was Rush. I thought that was pretty good. Yeah, that was pretty good.
It was good. It wasn't.
It's like all his movies. Like I don't think anything he's made is like horrible. It's just he's fine.
We made like, that one that 13 Lives that keeps getting pushed on me through all the streaming services.
The fuck? Oh, the Viggo Mortensen.
Yeah, it's about I guess like that soccer team or whatever. They got caught in that cave.
Pass. Is there a scene where Elon Musk tweets about that guy being like a pedophile or whatever? That's what I want to see. Remember that?
I do.
What a dickhead. All right. Anyway, I'm sorry. We're way off topic. Anything else I know you watched other stuff, guys. I'm dying to talk to you about the one thing you watched.
Ooh,
Sexy Beast?
No. But yes, Sexy Beast. No, I was talking about Prey, but Sexy Beast.
Okay, fine. I did. Yeah, I did watch Sexy Beast for the show.
Yeah.
I was not.
What did you think of that?
I loved it. I really really enjoyed it. I thought it was wonderfully shot, wonderfully acted. I love the story. The guy, Ray, what's his name? Ray Winstone. He's wonderful in it. And now I can't think of the gentleman who played Gandhi's name, but he's great. Ben Kingsley.
Sir Ben Kingsley.
Both of those actors, everything was wonderful. Big fan of Sexy Beast. I'm going to give it actually a 9 on my official scores this year.
Wow. I think that's higher than anybody. Sean gave it a 10, right? I think I gave it an 8.
Yeah, I think Sean gave it a 10.
Alec, you gave it like a 6 or a 7, I think?
I think I gave it a 6.
You ended up liking it more than I expected.
I liked it more than I expected. I still didn't like it though.
I still like your perspective on that is fascinating to me because the stuff that you didn't like is what I like the most. You know what I mean? Like the Ben Kingsley stuff, it worked so well for me. I
thought he was just such a force of nature in that movie.
I'm glad you liked it though, Gogs. It's a cool movie.
And then yes, I also watched Hulu's original Prey.
I'm just going to go ahead and say it because I talked about it last episode. I feel like I like this a lot more than you did. I really enjoyed it. I'm kind of after watching it, I was honestly surprised not only how much I liked the movie, but I thought you would like it more because I thought it was like, I mean, it's not like a perfect movie, but like, I don't know. We talk about this a million times on the show. But I think like the best kind of movie is like a simple story, well told, and that describes this movie. Like I feel like
as far as a Predator movie is concerned, yeah, it's a very like straightforward. So here's what's weird about my opinion on that movie. I don't hate it, but it's still my least favorite Predator movie, and I think it's beautifully shot. And the young lady who plays what's her name, Thunder,
Mid Thunder,
Danielle Mid Thunder. I thought she was.
I don't think her name is Danielle.
It's not Danielle?
You're getting her confused with the New Mutant character.
Danielle Moonstar.
Yeah, but anyway.
Well, okay. Amber Mid Thunder.
Also, she is fascinating. She literally is like, I was telling this to Alec over the weekend. She is like every race. Like her family tree is like absolutely insane. Like her father is like Native American, but her grandfather is like Chilean and like she's got her whole family tree is crazy. She's like every race known to man. It's wonderful.
Oh, she's like a Cliff Curtis.
Yeah, no, he just plays every race.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Cliff Curtis is just one race.
He's just two.
He's Maori. He's a Kiwi, I think, right? Like, isn't he?
A Kiwi is just a term for someone from Australia.
He's from New Zealand.
Kiwis.
I'm sorry, New Zealand. Excuse me.
Yeah, he's from New Zealand.
But I think he's Maori.
Oh, okay.
Maori.
Well,
Maori.
But anyway, go ahead, Gogs.
I liked Prey. I don't know. I think there's something about like I didn't dig the Predator in it, which was like a weird complaint, but I just didn't. I don't know. There's something about it I just did not care for.
I find that just it's your opinion's valid and whatever, but I don't know. It's fine. Like also Google it. And it's going to make you really frustrated like it made me. Sure. But they made a fully articulated face, like a mask with a face that like the things move, his little teeth. It looks so much better. And then they went in and like, I guess it didn't work during screen testing and they like CGI'd it over. But like you look at it in motion, like it looks so good. Like why didn't you just keep it?
But, yeah. Gogs, did you like the TikTok I sent with the Predator Mad Libs?
I love that pitch. Like I kind of really want to see the samurai movie now.
Yeah, Sean said that on the show 2 weeks ago, so everybody's just ripping him off.
God damn. Just keep making Predator movies in different time periods with like awesome different backgrounds.
It's like what they did with Spawn. Didn't Spawn do that in like the early 2010s or something?
It was but that was mostly to sell toys, like new Spawn toys. So something I found kind of interesting. because I thought he was really good in the movie. The guy that plays Naru's brother,
it's his first movie,
first acting role. I thought he was great.
He was great in it too. Like I'm saying, there's great performances in it. There was just something about the Predator that I just didn't like. Of all the mainline Predator movies, Predator 2, Predators, and The Predator, I like this one the least. But it doesn't mean it's bad. It's like I should revisit it, but it's like a 7. Like I fucking love. We all know how I feel about Predator 2.
Yeah, I don't have the love for Predator 2 that you do.
I mean,
but I do like in Predator, like in the same way I like in this movie. Like I like the end resolution where she like outsmarted him, and also like I enjoyed the fact that they did a good job explaining her character, where she's like she is smart and she is a fully, you know what I mean? She is what's the word I'm looking for? Like she's innovative. Yeah, and she's resourceful. So like I enjoyed the like cat and mouse game. There's a little bit of reincorporation from the beginning of the movie that they used that I really liked. Like I said it a couple weeks ago when we did the last episode. But like it's so refreshing to see like actual filmmaking techniques used, because we see so many movies that's just like, oh, they introduced this and then it's just gone.
Yeah, and I feel like most of that movie was shot with natural light, or it looks like it was shot with natural light.
I think they did a good job of making it look like it. But yeah, like it would be neat if they went if they had more of a budget and they made it the fucking Revenant, you know? Like
I mean, it's hands down the prettiest Predator movie you will see.
I really liked it. I'm hoping they make more. Like whoever, like it was what's his name? The guy that
guy did 10 Cloverfield
Lane. So I don't know. I was shocked at how much I liked it. Like I didn't think it had.
I'm surprised that you liked it as much as you did. Because after I watched it, I was like, I don't think TJ's gonna dig this.
I fucking loved it. I thought it was great. It's one of the best like action movies I've seen like in a long time. Also, like I was reading, I can't think of the guy's name now, but his original pitch was that, and I wish they did this, but you know, I always want this kind of shit. You know, I'm the guy that got mad that they showed Spider-Man in the Civil War trailer. He wanted to completely promote the movie as not a Predator movie. That's why it's called Prey. Like he wanted it just to be like the Predator be a surprise. I'm like, man, that would have been fucking awesome.
That would have been wild.
But then again, I probably wouldn't have watched it. Like I would.
Well, you would have heard the spoiler, and then you would have gone to see it.
But I always want to be like weird me. I always want to be surprised when I see a movie. I'm tired of trailers telling me everything about a fucking movie.
Give the Predator license to Ubisoft and let them make it like Assassin's Creed every year with a different era.
Well, apparently, and I didn't watch. I don't remember. I guess I didn't watch it. Apparently, there's like drawings during the credit sequence that hints at a sequel where like the Predators come down and like wipe out her whole tribe. But
that would explain how they got the pistol back for Predator 2.
Yeah.
I will die on that hill. And then the only other thing I watch, I just want to talk about it briefly. And I think you guys, I don't ever watch TV or TV shows. So when I can make a recommendation, it is few and far between. But I think you guys would probably both dig it. Is that show Shoresy on Hulu?
Yeah, you've been really chomping at the bit on that one.
It's only 6 episodes. It's it's the gentleman. I never really got
the Letterkenny spinoff, isn't it?
Yeah, like I never I like Letterkenny. Like I've watched the episodes I've watched, I've enjoyed, but I wasn't like hardcore into it.
I've never seen Letterkenny, but you said that Apple from Turbo Kid is in this.
Turbo Kid's in it as herself. It's like, I don't know. This really got me like right from the get go, and it's about like a goon hockey player in this small town in Canada, and like they're sort of like local 4-team division, and just I don't know. It's I thought it was like snappy and smart, and I was laughing at it. It's one of the funnier TV shows I've seen in a long time. So, and so, like I said, it's only 6 episodes.
Did you watch The Rehearsal yet?
I have started watching The Rehearsal. Yeah,
that is. Bonkers. I'm not saying that the one you said isn't good, but like The Rehearsal is like one of the best things I've ever seen. It's amazing.
The Rehearsal's like insane though. The Rehearsal's like it makes you start thinking like what's real, and that's a hell of a thing for a comedy show.
Yeah, kind of ties into this week's episode.
It does.
Anything else, guys?
No, that's it.
You can tell we have so much energy to talk to each other. It's great.
Oh my god!
It's not like usual weeks where we're like, oh god, these guys.
Just shut the fuck up.
All right, pass the mic, guys.
I passed the mic down.
I only watched one movie.
One thing.
Real quick before I get into that, Ron Howard's best movie he's directed is Gung Ho.
Oh yeah, I forgot he directed that. I
He also
completely
directed
agree.
Splash, Cocoon, Willow, Backdraft.
Yeah,
Oh, Willow might be my pick.
Willow.
I love Backdraft
Have
though.
you watched
Willow?
Sucks. It's terrible. It's
I
really
just
bad.
watched it within the last year.
Yeah,
They have Disney Plus is making a show or a new movie or something.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Oh, Willow.
No, thank you.
Backdraft slaps though.
Alec, when they do the show, can you do like the credit bump where you're like, oh Willow?
Oh, Willow. The movie I watched is Kevin Hart, Will Ferrell vehicle Get Hard.
Oh, where he's gonna go to prison?
Yeah, Will Ferrell's gonna go to prison for like insider trading, and he hires Kevin Hart to be like his prison coach, how he can survive prison.
But he just hires him because he's black, right? It's not because he's been to prison.
He doesn't. He assumes he's been to prison because he's black.
That makes sense. Yeah, that's what I thought. And there was like a.
So he hires him just pretty much, yes, solely because he's black, because he assumes all black people have been to prison.
Because you want to, if you want to get tough, you want to hire the guy that's like 4 foot tall. Well,
if he survived prison, he's got to be tough.
That's a good point. What's that now? Off topic. What is that comedy? Is it called Let's Go to Jail?
Let's Go to Prison.
Michael Shannon. You know what I'm talking about?
With
Shannon.
With Shy. I can never think of the guy's name. Shy, something. The gentleman from the
and it's like Will Arnett.
It's Will Arnett. It's Let's Go to Prison, and they're making and Dak Shepard.
Yeah, that movie is pretty goddamn funny.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'll have to look that up.
Really? That's the one where Dak Shepard is like. Dak Shepard got like wronged by Will Arnett outside, and then when they're inside, he like hires Dak Shepard to be his like protector, but Dak Shepard keeps setting him up to get like stabbed to death.
Huh?
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
This movie is pretty funny. It's not like the best thing I've ever seen. It's not one of Will Ferrell's better movies, but it's enjoyable. I really like. I've watched a bunch of Kevin Hart movies in the past couple of years, and like I really like Kevin Hart. Like he's really funny.
He is. He's very funny.
A lot of people think I don't know if he's overrated or he's overexposed, but like I think he's a really funny guy, and he knows exactly what to like lean into.
Yeah, he's funny. The 2 seconds he's in 40-Year-Old Virgin are very funny.
Yeah, those are great.
Oh, yeah. We used to fuck bitches in the ass.
Rolling 40s.
He has a show on Netflix. It was a limited series. I can't remember what it was called. But it's like serious, and it was really good. It's got him and Wesley Snipes and Billy Zane.
It's not that thing that was on Quibi, was it?
No, that wasn't bad. But I bet you that would not have been good if it was feature-length episodes. Each episode was like 4 minutes long.
Al, you saw the movie with him and The Rock, the CIA movie? Was it?
Yeah,
Central Intelligence.
Yeah, that was good.
I liked him in that. Yeah. I liked him when I recently went back to Jumanji. I liked him a lot in Jumanji. He's funny as hell in that movie.
Yeah, he's a funny guy. I really like him a lot. This movie's really funny. Coach is in it. Coach plays the most unbelievable family dynamics of all time. Coach is his father-in-law or future father-in-law. The daughter that he's about to marry is Allison Brie, which like none of this makes any sense.
Will Ferrell's about to marry Allison Brie?
Yes.
And that's like 6 years ago, Allison Brie, right?
Brie is like 22 years younger than him, but yeah, whatever. It's cool.
Yeah, and even though they set it up like she's money hungry, and that's why she's with him because he's like a really successful banker. Her dad is his boss. Her dad's an even more successful banker. She could find somebody her own age who's like, but regardless. But I liked it. It was pretty good. Not great, but pretty good. That was it. I finished Paper Girls, and I loved it. I thought it was so good.
Gotta watch.
I
have to watch it.
Yeah, it's only 8 episodes, and I think the first one's the longest, and it's like 40 minutes long.
How much did you read of the comic? I think I asked you.
I read the first couple of trades. I think whatever you let me borrow, so probably whatever you had.
I gave you I think I gave you the whole series.
I barely remember the plot.
Yeah,
I remember like the very loosest.
It kind of goes
bit of
all
the
over the
plot.
place too. So,
And like this kind of goes all over the place, and it's really neat though, and it looks good.
I'll have
The
to check it
effects
out.
are pretty good. Grandfather is played by Jason Mantzoukas.
Hell yeah, art sold.
I love that guy. He's so
Yeah,
good in
he's
everything.
awesome. I love him.
Um, oh, the other thing, I watched the first episode of She-Hulk, and I really liked that too.
Yeah, I've heard good things. I need to watch it.
Is
Yeah, it
that
was
coming out like weekly, or is that all dropped all at once?
weekly.
As
The first episode's really good. Oh, the IMDb score for She-Hulk has gone down half a point since I last looked,
yeah, because
and
the
it just keeps
incels.
going down.
Because it's about a woman. Because anytime you, and we could have talked about this, was Prey too. Anytime
Hey,
you feature a woman, it's filling an agenda for some fucking reason. Because God forbid you have a character that's not a white male. Like, Jesus Christ, get over yourselves already.
I just don't
Yeah,
want to be replaced in cinema.
they don't
Yeah,
want a green female lead.
yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. Like, anyway, anything else, Alec?
Nope. TJ.
I watched one thing that's fucking excellent. I said it once and I'll say it again. Fucking Shudder is turning into like the new A24. I watched another Shudder original. I don't know. So there's a difference between the Shudder channel and like Shudder Studios, because sometimes they release things theatrically that don't show up on their like app or whatever, or their channel, whatever you want to call it, immediately. I watched a movie called Watcher. Um, it's starring, I forget her name. I want to say it's Michaela Monroe. She was the lead in It Follows. She's great. But it's a pretty simple movie. It's about her. She moves to um Romania, I think it is. With her boyfriend, and they live in this weird old apartment, and she just notices that someone across the way is staring at her, and it turns into this kind of psychological slow burn like horror movie. And the movie does a great job, and this really just scratches an itch for me, because I always like the if you go back and listen to any critique I have of a horror movie, I always kind of like the when a movie kind of plays around with the idea of, well, is the narrator like is it in the narrator's head, or is it not? You know what I mean? I hate when movies make it like painfully obvious like what's going on. This movie does a great job at building tension. It looks incredible. It's shot so well. Everything is done in these kind of dead, zoned out, kind of washed out colors, like lots of empty space in the frame. So and it's kind of funny because she was in It Follows too, that did the same thing. But there's a lot of dead space in the frame, so it kind of always makes you feel like there's something always about to like be off frame that's going to come in for like it's a very, very clever movie. It's made very well. Her performance is fantastic. I don't want to give anything away, but there's a lot of twists and turns. Um, the guy, I never remember his fucking name, but he was he was in a Doctor Who spinoff show called Torchwood.
Oh, I
He's a
love
very
Torchwood.
strange looking man. He was in that episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia where they make Charlie think he's a genius. He
Uh,
was in Pacific Rim. He was one of the scientists.
yeah, I know
I
you're talking about.
cannot think of his name, but he's in this movie.
Was he the guy from a Game of Thrones that
Was he in Game of Thrones?
um Christ, I can't remember all the shit. He killed Jon Snow's commander when they went across the wall, and then him and his group started raping everybody.
He was Carl Tanner in
I don't
Game of
remember him.
Thrones.
Oh, and he was in Dark Knight Rises. I don't even remember that. His name is Bern Gorman, and he is American. That blows my fucking mind. I thought he was British like my whole life.
Hey, does Jon Snow end up ending him by jamming a sword through the back of his head and out his mouth?
I
think
literally don't remember.
That's the same guy.
I feel like I forgot more about Game of Thrones than I remember. Also, did either one of you watch that fucking show that started yesterday?
The House of Dragon or whatever?
Got really good reviews, but I don't care about it in the least.
I have like no interest in going and dipping my toes back in Game of Thrones. But anyway,
like we know how it ends already. It's a prequel.
Well, this is like hundreds of years before Game of Thrones.
We still know how it ends.
Yeah.
The Targaryens are all banished to Valeria or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, who cares?
I really do have a hard time.
You want to get me interested in Game of Thrones again? Just give me a Jon Snow show or an Arya Stark show.
I think both of those are in the works. So
give me one of those too, where it follows them around.
Be careful what you wish for. But anyway, Watcher, highly recommended. It's a 9 out of 10. I absolutely loved it. Even like it course corrects too, because there's like a part towards the end where I forgot to say that she's like paranoid about this stalker, and then interspersed with this, there is a serial killer on the loose, like in Romania or whatever. And again, like all of the, like, I wouldn't say all, but 90% of the language is in Romanian. She speaks English. She doesn't speak Romanian, or I apologize if that's not the language, but it's wild because they do such a good job of making you feel the isolation that she feels. And like, she's only getting bits and pieces of the information around her. And again, like it deals with,
kind of feels like a little bit like, Midsummer in that way, right?
A little bit, actually. Yeah, that's actually a good comparison, because there's also, you know, the husband that, or I can't remember if they're married or not, but the boyfriend husband or whatever, he like doubts her and like doesn't really give her, you know what I mean? Like doesn't really, at certain points, like starts to just be like, well, you're just, you know, this is all in your head. And I can't recommend this movie enough. I fucking loved it. This is one of those movies that's going to end up in my top 10 at the end of the year. Like I thought it was a fucking triumph. I really enjoyed it. And it's the kind of movie like I wish they made more of. Like it's like a quiet movie that's all about like the performances and the like craft itself. Like there's not a lot of big set pieces. There's really not a lot of action, but it's fantastic. It's really good movie.
It's this woman's first feature length movie, so she must have.
Well, she did a great job. I mean, it's crazy to me. You know, last year I raved about a movie called Censor, and that was another first time director. Actually, another lady director as well, which is great. But that movie too, like another movie that's just so confidently made, and just like it's your first like swing out of the box, and it's like a home run. Like I can't wait to see what else this director makes. It was really, really good. Highly recommended. Loved it. If you're looking for like a slow burn suspense movie, you're not going to do much better than Watcher. It was great. So yeah. And that's it. That's all I watched.
Gogs, what happened in Paprika?
In Paprika?
Because I ain't describing this.
Yeah, this is a tough. You know, it's equal parts tough and not.
Yeah,
tough.
I mean, it's kind of not that tough. You can almost get through it in like 3 sentences.
It's kind of A to B. That's the thing. Like, I've watched this movie probably 6 times, and it's kind of simple. Like, in a weird way, it's very simple.
It's also simple in like the most complex way possible.
Also, y'all gave me a hard time last week or last episode for Sexy Beast not being a heist movie. This isn't even close to a heist movie.
Okay. They don't really something gets stolen, but it's not a heist movie. It's more of a noir movie,
also,
if anything.
Maybe this should be said. No, I'm just going to say it now. So the discourse about this movie now is that Inception is just a huge ripoff of this. I don't think so, like, at all. Watching it this time, even more so. I'm like...
See, I walked away from it going, oh, there's a lot of Inception here.
I mean, I guess, but like to me, I don't know. I guess
because it could be also a lot of Dream Warriors. It's anytime where you're hanging out in a dreamscape.
I'm like the Nolan mark, but like Inception is a heist movie. Like it's
no. Inception
is a heist movie.
Oh, I just meant like the dream manipulation bullshit. Like no,
oh sure,
Inception is a legit heist movie.
But I feel like this anyway. Get into the plot.
Okay, so here's what's up. In Tokyo or wherever these guys are, they've got a. They came up with a hair beret that lets you go into the dreams of other friends and coworkers for the purposes of, I guess, unlocking deep repressed trauma
It's not. They're literal like psychologists or whatever. Like
I'm being glib. Yes,
they're doing this. It's for like patients. Like they're doing this
to get into your brain and unpack your shit, right?
Yeah,
and they'll unpack with you. And we are met by the titular Paprika, and she is sort of a mental projection of one of these brain scientists.
Yeah.
So then you find out that the chairman of the Brain Science Corporation is like, I don't know, we should be doing this. And everybody's like, it's fine. And then they find out that three of these MC-49 dealies or whatever they are, three of these magical berets or barrettes have been stolen. And that could mean, what could that mean? It could mean the following, that you can now get your brain invaded at any time if you've ever done this before, because now you're attuned to this sort of dream thing. And this psychoterrorists, for lack of a better word, starts projecting like a bonkers sort of parade of nonsense through people's subconscious and putting them in comas, including one of
also when you're kind of thrust into this dream, you can't decipher that you're in a dream. You're basically like, I don't know, like sleepwalking in a weird, like, not sleepwalking, I guess is the wrong word.
Do you know when, I know when I'm in a dream afterwards, but are you a lucid dreamer? Do you have control over your dreams?
No, okay. Not at all.
Because I would love that power.
But I guess, yeah, me too. But I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Like, there is instances in this movie where people are actively in the dream, acting out in the real world, but they don't have any concept that they're dreaming.
You're right.
You know what I mean?
You're right. They're almost being puppeteered into like jumping over a fence.
There's a scene later in the movie when like things go totally insane, and I don't know. I'm not going to stop talking about the animation in this movie. I think the animation is like unbelievable. It's
amazing.
But there's a scene where the like dream parade that you just described is in like full swing. And there's this like, it's like a musical. There's this row of people that are just smiling and falling off of a building. And it's like fucking terrifying. Like they're all dead. Like all those people are dead.
Oh, it's a nightmare.
Yeah, it's fucking wild.
And like the parade is like the most absurd. Like it's like the most absurd thing. I'll be honest. So I've never seen this movie before, right? The part where the one scientist in the very beginning, when his brain starts getting invaded before Paprika goes and saves him. And Paprika is like she's like a dream superhero. Like she can just come through and she's got control of the situation. But like the part where he starts sputtering off the gibberish before they go to his brain, I was like, is there something wrong with the subtitles? Like what's happening?
I was going to ask, did you watch
none of this makes sense.
Did you watch this dubbed or subtitled?
I watched it subtitled.
I believe there was a dubbed option that I put on the thing. So
I watched it subtitled.
The dub is not bad, by the way. I've watched the dub. They actually did quite a good job. So.
But it's kind of like when I returned.
If anybody wants to watch this on the dub, no shame. I'm not one of those anime purists that say you have to watch it with the subs. Like dubs there's a lot of very talented voice actors out there. They do a good job. It's not like it was in the fucking 80s, which most of you kids don't even fucking remember. But dubs used to be horrible. Nowadays, dubs are great. So
that's been the Angry TJ Minute.
No, I'm just the old fucking old head anime fan where I remember like people still hold on to that shit. They're like, dubs are terrible. It's like, watch one. They're fine. Like they're good now. Like they put time and effort into them now. It's not like it used to be. Where it was just like some voice actor like on the phone, like, yeah, Shinji, fucking punch that robot. Like
not like Kung Pao, Enter the Fist.
Basically, yeah.
So anyway, so everyone's going kind of kooky doo. Oh, so yeah, so I thought my subtitles were going bananas. I was like, what does any of this mean? Then I realized he's describing, the insanity which is going on in his brain. So now they're on the case. So I forget what Atchan is, that Paprika's real life name?
Her real name is something longer than that, but Atchan is like At is it's short for her name, and Chan is what you say. It's like a term of affection for like a cute girl.
Okay.
It's like a friendly. Cute girl is the wrong way to say it, but Chan literally means cute in Japanese. But like, if you had like if you were friendly with a girl, Chan is like an affectionate way to refer to her. It's like saying like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like babe, but like more. I don't know. It's not as. Doesn't have the same connotation
like
in Japanese.
darling? Like what are we saying?
I guess, or something like that. But right. It's anyway. There's your lesson in Japanese.
So this lady and her the husky scientist that helped invent this thing, they start going off on a quest, and they eventually are joined up with an actual detective who's going through psychotherapy with Paprika, who's friends with the head scientist. All of this keeps going on. They're trying to figure out who did what now. People keep going insane. One guy they think did this was just a patsy for the people that actually did it, and lo and behold, the people that actually did it are the chairman, because him and one of the scientists decide that they need to be the keeper of the dream realm.
Her full name is Atsuko. So
Atsuko.
Yeah, that's where "at" comes from.
So the boss and his lackey are like, we can't let technology pervade our dreams, and it seemed like they're trying to be like dream loraxes. But then they go and like the one guy gets all creepy about it and pins Paprika to a table like a butterfly, and then he gets his neck invaded.
Yeah,
and
that scene is
that shit gets fucking silly. And then eventually a guy gets shot in his dream, and then he dies in real life, and then the dream world and the real world start merging.
It's important to point out, because I think that, again, like I talked about this a lot with the last movie we watched, but this movie is definitely a movie that relies really heavily on its themes. But the guy that's like that you find as the mastermind is a guy in a wheelchair. Like he's crippled, and part of his motivation is like, well, he can be in total control of everything.
So I was a little confused by his motivations, because in one part he sounds like he's trying to say that no one should have this power with dreams, and then by the end of the movie he's a 200-foot tall naked shadow man who's punched a hole through reality.
He's lying. He's trying. He wants control for himself. He's tyrannical. He's being, he wants. I'll get into it a little bit. This movie is a lot about control, and there is a meta element to this movie, pretty heavily actually. Like at the end of the movie, the cop, right? Like there's a through line where the detective, the cop detective that's involved in the movie, he doesn't like movies, and you find out it's because like he kind of dashed his his creativity got kind of smashed like a long time ago, and he never really followed through with it, so it's kind of traumatic for him. But at the end of the movie, he goes to the movies, and the movies that are showing are all Satoshi Kon movies. And there's three movies there. There's Tokyo Godfathers, Millennium Prince, 4 movies. Tokyo Godfather, Millennium Princess, and Perfect Blue. All of those are Satoshi Kon movies, the guy that directed and wrote this movie. There is a 4th movie called The Tomorrow Kids that Kon was in the process of making, but he died of cancer right after this movie. So a heavy, it happens a lot, especially in anime and manga, because a lot of times anime and manga is the vision of one person. Like Satoshi Kon did all the character designs and directed this movie. This movie is in a lot of ways is about him, and you can kind of extrapolate the villain of this movie is a character that's like desperate to take control of his own body, and meanwhile in real life, like he is literally dying. Like it's kind of like, to me, it's like a powerful statement. And then ultimately, like I think this movie is like him kind of accepting that, like in a weird way, like his creativity is what carries on. Like that's what Paprika represents. And anyway, I'm getting too much into the meta, but I think it is important to look at what was going on in his mind, and like I think that ties into the villain's motivations. Like I think there's definitely an A to B comparison to there, but it's unfair. I don't know. It's one of those things, right, where it's kind of unfair to the movie, because like you need to have a lot of foreknowledge to know that. But I think knowing that, I think it makes the movie more interesting. But continue. I'm sorry.
Oh, I mean, so. The boss man turns into a giant shadow monster, punches a hole through reality, and dreams and the real world, the waking world, are merging into one, and the parade of madness is happening, and people are throwing themselves off buildings and doing all sorts of terrible things. And then Paprika gets sort of mixed up into the whole thing, and her scientist would-be boyfriend is a giant wind-up robot she needs to save. So they end up doing that. Well, so at some point, Paprika and the scientist Atsuko.
Yeah.
I thought it was actually pretty interesting is that when the reality and the dream world were merging, Paprika split herself from her to make two different people running around and doing work. But with like the help of the cop and everything, they are able to. So this part I got a little lost on, but somehow like the spirit of Atsuko was able to create a ghost baby that was able to suck all the darkness away, and then ascends to another plane of existence.
I mean, I think like in the most like broad sense, it's just Paprika, right? Like it's her, like she's the way I read it is more like I mean the whole time they kind of use Atchan and Paprika as like two separate people. Like that's how the movie is introduced.
Like they kind of like they even have them play off each other and like they have conversations with each other. Like it's almost like a split personality.
I feel like it's just one of those situations where like she is just the inverse. Like they do this a lot in Japanese shit.
A Tyler Durden.
She is the inverse of the evil, so she overpowers that evil. Like she has more and she's also like, whereas the bad guy is basically a tourist in this dream world, like Paprika exists in this world, so she's more powerful. You know what I mean? She has the only connection to the real world is Atchan, and like you just said, they split. So you have to do a little bit of jump there, but also one of the most uncomfortable scenes for me because like it's a baby that's like naked and it's kind of weird. Like,
yeah, that gets real.
I really wish they could have cut around that somehow because it's a baby that grows up. So at one point it's a 50-foot tall like naked 12-year-old. Could we not anime just for like 5 seconds? Could just be normal for 5 seconds. Like I don't have a problem when it's full grown woman being. It's a little weird. Like I know it's not necessarily sexualized. It's just weird, and I don't like it.
It's uncomfortable. There's a lot. There's some other uncomfortable stuff in this movie too, but it's and then I guess all the dream people go away, and Paprika is free to. What was she? She also ran a website that would let you invade dreams or something.
Yeah, that part is very strange. Like, it's very hard to understand. Like it's weird. It's like a website that the cop logs into that he interacts with Paprika, but like they show it like he's like sitting down at the bar. Like it's very weird. But like they cut back to him and he's at his desk. It's kind of a hard thing to like. That is one of the aspects of like. Couldn't you just give him like a VR helmet or
give him
something?
One of the array thing. Give him one of the little.
It's literally the problem I have with fucking Ready Player. Well, one of the problems I have with Ready Player One, where like people are like, jumping out of windows and shit, and they're just playing on like Fortnite. Like I don't understand.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's Paprika.
The omnidirectional treadmills.
But not everybody has those. In the beginning of the movie, people are literally just playing on like a normal screen. So it's like. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. But yeah, that's Paprika. 90 minutes. That alone should give it a pretty good score.
It's a tight 90.
They cram a lot into this fucking movie.
There's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of technobabble that gets dropped. There's a lot of psychobabble.
They also might as well point this out because I read this today. Amazon is working on a live action adaptation of this, which is going to be fucking horrible. Like, I can guarantee you it's going to be bad. And it's directed by
Ron Howard.
No, it's directed by the same director of Birds of Prey. I mean, I like Birds of Prey.
That movie.
But I watched that movie. I don't know if she's got the chops to do this. Like, I don't know. So yeah, I kind of already said my piece because I talked a lot during Gogs' synopsis. I apologize.
Meh.
But what did y'all think of this movie? I'm dying.
I want to hear Alex's thoughts because you kind of heard mine as I went through it.
This movie is something else.
Uh-oh. See, that's not even fucking Alec. He's an enigma wrapped in a sweater, wrapped in a riddle. Go ahead, keep going. I still don't know what he's going to say. I don't know if it's positive or negative.
This movie is. When I first started, I was like, "Oh, it's an hour and a half." Like,
yeah,
no matter what it is, it's an hour and a half. That's great. Like, I can deal with that. But man, it is like impenetrable. Like trying to follow the concepts and the plot while also reading the subtitles, like I found almost impossible.
Those subtitles did come fast.
Yeah, like I honestly don't know, and I wasn't gonna watch it again to like get a better feel for it. But like the animation is beautiful. It's fucking crazy. Like some of the ideas of like the concepts they animate are I don't even know like where you would think of things like that.
I'm glad you pointed that out. Like that parade is like so wild. Like the shit,
it's
like
so absurd.
It's like Alex just said. Like just looking at that, like how do you even think to like draw that shit? Like it's so out of left field. Like it's so all over the place. Like it's wild. Like where does that even come from?
Yeah, like I think people, like for the people at home, like we're talking about, it's like refrigerators marching with frogs, marching with torii gates, marching with samurai, and then a giant like litter full of dolls. Like,
it all like flows together. Like it doesn't look like one doesn't look out of place.
No,
it's very strange. Like I don't know how you pull that off. Like it's crazy. And then like people's heads are getting bigger. Like there's a part towards the end where they're having like the full on parade, and like people's like proportions are expanding, and like just shit's going like everywhere. Like it's so crazy. Like I can't imagine sitting down and we all know like what it takes to animate something. Like, can you imagine all the fucking drawings that they do for this? Like, it's fucking
insane.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hard to follow, man. Like, it is not an easy movie to like.
I wonder how you'd feel.
I feel like it would take multiple viewings, or maybe the dub might have helped. But geez, it's I've never seen anything like it. Like I can say that. Like I don't know. Like the Inception, aside from dream manipulation, like that's like the only thing that's the same. But I also don't want to give Christopher Nolan any credit, so he definitely ripped it off.
Damn.
What was it? Was there another movie in like the 90s where people would do like a shared dreaming thing? The Cell had that, didn't it?
Yeah, The Cell had that. Yeah, sure.
Are you thinking of maybe Flatliners?
Yeah, but Flatliners isn't about dreaming, is it? It's about dying.
No, it's about near-death experiences.
Yep.
Yeah, it's something else. It's definitely original. It's definitely like it's definitely not boring. It's more confusing than boring. It's like
there you go.
That's all it's got to be. Was this a manga or anything, TJ?
No, this is a wholly original animated film.
Was it a hentai?
No. I don't think Khan. I think Khan only did films. I don't think he ever dabbled in manga. And
and this was his last movie before he died.
There was something that came out posthumously that he was involved in, but it was like an anthology thing. But yeah, this is his last movie. And I mean, like the guy, I don't know, I think the guy, like his movies, like I think I've seen everything that he made, and the guy was just fantastic.
Man, died at 46.
And it was like stomach cancer.
Oh my god!
Too.
Yeah,
pancreatic cancer. Didn't even make it to 50. That's awful.
Yeah, the dude was like
upcoming projects. Perfect Blue.
That's movie. That's my favorite of his films. Like that movie is about a idol singer, like a J-pop kind of celebrity, and it's about her kind of dealing with a stalker, but then at the same time kind of like losing grip with reality. It's an amazing movie.
Well, it's getting ready to be remade.
Well, they already did remake it, and it was called Black Swan because Darren Aronofsky tried to buy the rights to it, they told him no, and he just made Black Swan, which is a pretty bad imitation of. It's one of the things that started me on the path of I don't like Darren Aronofsky anymore because like that was like really shitty. But I recommend all his movies. He made a show called Paranoia Agent that's really good. Tokyo Godfathers, Millennium Actress is really good. Perfect Blue is my favorite. I've actually talked on the show about Memories, which is an anthology movie. But he made the first part, which is, I think, in my opinion, is the best short of that. It's about this space crew that like hears this derelict like opera signal, and they go investigate, and it's this like haunted thing. It's fucking awesome. But yeah, fucking R.I.P. to a real one. That guy was fucking amazing. But guys, what did you think before we get into Five Knuckle Shuffles? Anything you want to talk about before we get into proper score reviews?
I mean, it was really interesting. Like I did have to like run it back a few times to make sure that, like I grasped the concept because it does move. They do pack a lot into that 90 minutes. I'm just trying to follow all the ins and outs, and there's a pretty, a decent sized cast of characters you have to follow and figure out and keep track of.
Yeah, and this does the classic, and I think like we've talked about this before with different foreign movies, but like certain films and certain genres have like a language, right? And anime, I think anime because generally they work with lower budgets, and generally they put this stuff. They don't release the stuff like theatrical stuff doesn't play as well in Japan, so stuff has to be short. So like they always do this kind of like shorthand stuff where they cram a lot of shit into a small amount of time. Like I'm sure there's probably 3-hour anime movies, but I don't think I've ever seen one. Like they always seem to be very short and like to the point, and like they jump a lot, so you have to do a lot of work. So.
Yeah, this one moves a lot. This one's got a lot of. I guess I think of all of the parts, like I was the parts that threw me the most were the cop parts. Like I understand his like repressed, like he gave up on being a filmmaker to be a cop, but the one dream he keeps having about the dead kid, is that never actually really happened? And that's just a metaphor for him to like
talking about the kid that gets shot?
Yeah.
That's from his movie.
That was not when he was
No, they explain that part. That's from his film. That's from the film he made with his friend. That never really happened. That was just part of the movie.
Okay, because even when he's in like therapy, it sounds like that's the case he's trying to solve, but it's him in that character still, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. See, I'm dumb. Now that makes more sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like
at least that's how I took it. I was like
I couldn't tell if it was like a repressed memory or if it was just something he generated that was fortunate enough to be able to be used in like as a way to overcome the bad guy at the end. Also, I owe this movie a rewatch just while
we're talking about this. The sequence, and they redo it a couple times, but the sequences where he's like jumping in and out of like different movies is fucking amazing.
That is pretty cool.
It's fucking wild. Like,
yeah, it's something. I'm gonna before we get to my scores, I'll just say I'm planning on rewatching it because I was like, I was
watch the dub. I'm interested to see if that would make you feel any different about it. And watch Perfect Blue. Watch all anime movies. Yeah, I will say that as you two are kind of anime neophytes, this is generally considered like one of the greatest anime movies like ever made.
Wow.
Like this is right up there with like Akira, like, you know what I mean, and such and
Ghost
such.
In the Shell.
So yeah, I guess Ghost in the Shell. But yeah. All right, Five Knuckle Shuffle time. Alec.
It's gonna be a 6.
I'll take it.
I couldn't understand it. I couldn't understand it enough to give it a higher or lower rating. So it gets a 6. It's above a 5 because the animation's really cool.
And you'll remember it. It made an impact on you.
Yeah,
it's impenetrableness acted as armor from a lower score.
Yeah, it's impenetrableness saved it from being a failure.
saved from damnation by its own confusingness.
But yeah, I've never seen anything like it. I can honestly say, like, in all the movies and all the animated stuff I've seen, I've never quite seen anything like the parade of appliances and toys marching through Tokyo.
Yeah, it's fucking wild.
It's something different. Yeah, 6. Gogs.
I am going to give it a 7 for mostly the same reasons, except I think I tried to dig. I was reading it and digging. When I dug in, I don't know. I ran it back a couple times, but it's still really weird. But it's pretty. It's unlike anything I've ever seen. The voice acting in it's really good. I mean, I say that it sounded good. It sounded like it had the right inflections and tones. Since I don't speak Japanese, I can't tell if they were maybe sounded wooden or sounded weird, but it delivered the contextual tone for when I was reading to understand everything.
You don't speak Japanese?
I do not.
I'm shocked. I thought you did.
Yep, that's just all I can do is my terrible Ken Watanabe.
He doesn't speak it, but he's turning Japanese. I think he's turning Japanese. I really think so.
I need to hire I'm sure there's like Japanese actors on Cameo. I want to know what like the Japanese like pronunciation of Gogs would be.
Well, that was one of the things that
Gogzu.
It was fun listening to all the American word or all the English words that they like. I guess they don't have a. Well, they just don't have a Japanese word for it, or maybe that's
the general consensus, from what I understand, is that a lot of times they use English because it's more like contemporary. Like it's something that's from what I understand, like old Japanese people get mad at how much like younger people use English in their everyday language because they've adopted. I think I've even talked about this before, but like the word pro wrestling in Japanese is pro resu, and it's literally just them saying pro wrestling. Like it's just that's just the word for it now. Like there's probably a closer like literal Japanese word for it, but they just call it pro resu, which is pro wrestling. So stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff like that in Japanese. It's fascinating culture.
Well,
big fan. I'm a big weeb from way back.
Big fan of Japan.
I love Japan. I will go there one day in my life.
But yeah, it's a 7. It's something else. I will not forget it. I will tell you that much. And I didn't hate it. It's just like it was wild and just kept getting progressively wilder. Like I thought I had my arms around it, and then it just kept getting stranger and stranger. But yeah,
I've all been there after an Applebee's on a Saturday night.
TJ.
It's a 10. I think this movie's a fucking masterpiece. Again, I do acknowledge that I think that the movie does rely a little bit on your knowledge of like Satoshi Kon. Like I don't know the part, and I love, there's something that's been, I've said it a million times on the show, but like I love movies about movies, and in a weird way, and about like creativity and stuff, and in a weird way, like a lot of the through line of this movie is about like creativity and like the cop is definitely a character that's like spurned his own creativity and feels like he hasn't done enough in life, and I can relate to that. But on top of that, like I like all the weird science fiction stuff. I wish Sean was here because I think he'd agree with me on this, but I think like all the weird science fiction stuff is really just like window dressing. Like I don't really think any of that really even matters ultimately in this movie. Like I think this movie, at least for me, this movie is more about like the feel of the movie and like how it kind of flows. Like it's very dreamlike from start to finish. And I think to me, it's a movie that just kind of washes over you. Like I don't really worry too much about like a lot of the details of the movie. But that's just how I interpret it. The animation is, I mean, it's incredible. I love Satoshi Kon's character designs. Like I kind of miss in contemporary anime these days, like you don't really get stuff like this anymore, and a lot of the like character design work is kind of become like homogenous, and you have a lot of the same kind of style. Like I like Khan's work because while it's like still super stylized and you still know it's like anime, it's not like the Chiba like super deformed giant eyes, like big hair. Like it's got a style. Like it's not just, oh, that's just some anime character. Like I don't know. I fucking love this movie. I love I just there's just so much about this movie that I really fucking love. And this is something I like, cuz I don't know if I said it recorded or not recorded, but I've probably watched this movie probably half a dozen times. Like Perfect Dark is still my favorite, but this is probably number 2 as far as Satoshi Kon goes. It's fantastic. I love it. And I love, I don't think we've mentioned it, but I love the music in this movie too. I think the music is really cool in this movie. But yeah, it's great. I can't wait to watch the live action version and be horrified at how bad it is, because there is literally no way it's going to be any good. I can't even imagine trying to to recreate this shit in live action. Like, this is going to be a prime example of some things just need to stay the medium that they are, because you're not going to be able. How are you going to recreate that Dream Parade in live action? It's going to look fucking stupid.
It'll be all just CGI, and it will be.
It's going to be CGI, and it's going to look terrible.
Yeah.
So yeah. Now this is honestly, to me, this is a masterpiece. I fucking love it. So yeah, I don't know. I've seen a lot of people say this is a good gateway into anime. I would disagree with that. I think it's a little advanced, but
this would be a terrible gateway into anime.
Yeah,
no, I would. Yeah, this is.
I think if you want to get into something into anime that's like creative and weird but a lot of fun, that movie I talked about a couple months ago, Our Sound, would be a great gateway into anime, because it's like 72 minutes long and it's about like rock music, and that movie's a lot of fun. Also a movie about creativity, strangely enough.
I found Attack on Titan to be pretty approachable.
Not a fan. Dragon Ball's great. Little decompressed. Ghost in the Shell is good, stuff like that. Ghost in the Shell, hot take, live action movie, not bad at all.
No,
probably one of the only good adaptations, and I will die on that hill.
It's surprisingly good.
It's not bad at all. It's actually a fun movie and a pretty good adaptation of the source material. And all those people that are like, she should be Japanese, the model the actual doll that she's based on in the manga is based off a Russian woman who is clearly white. So you all don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Shut the fuck up. You know who love white people? Specifically Americans? Japanese people. They fucking love us over there. I don't know why, but they love us. Every fucking 80s anime is based off of 2 people, Tom Cruise and Sylvester Stallone. You don't believe me? Go look at it. Go look at fucking Rick Hunter's design. Go look at Fist of the North Star. It's all there. I'm telling you. They love us. I don't know why, but they love us. And I will die on that hill. Ghost in the Shell is good. Go watch Ghost in the Shell.
100% agree. Yeah, the Fist of the North Star cover looks just like over the top.
Dude, the guy specifically used Sylvester Stallone as fucking reference material. Like, it's not even, like, he wasn't even subtle about it. But yeah, no, it's all there. Like, that was like one of the, I don't know, the most like 2013 things. Like, oh, they're whitewashing like anime. It's like, well, not really. Like, have you ever watched anime? It's like a lot of people that didn't watch anime, and a lot of non-Japanese people like got a lot of upset over literally nothing. Like, get over yourselves. You know where Ghost in the Shell did the best? The live action movie? Japan.
Hey.
It was a huge hit over there. Go figure. Anyway. All right. So who has next week's pick? Is it still we're past, we got a new month, right?
No. We got one more week.
One more week to watch Army of Thieves.
No. Is that what we're watching?
My pick would be Rogue One.
Who hasn't gone? We're
Both
down.
of us.
Me and Guts. Because we skipped a week.
So do a coin toss. I don't know. How do we figure this out?
I don't have a coin in front of me.
All right.
Right down.
No. I got it. I got a number in my head between 1 and 10. Whoever gets closest.
Write it down. Because you're gonna make it so we don't have to watch Army of Thieves.
No, I'm not. I'll be honest. I don't. Here, hold on. Here, I made my hand the number.
Change your hand.
I don't have a pen. I'll be honest. I swear to God, if it's close, if you're closer, I'll go with it.
All right. 4.
All right.
6.
It was 6.
Of course it was.
No, it really was. It really was 6.
I'm gonna watch Army of Thieves anyway.
Look.
Well, that's your problem.
I know. I love Rogue One. I think
I swear on my life that it was really 6. Alec knows me. Of course it was 6. Devil.
Well, that's 4.
Oh, the devil. You know, these are horns.
666.
But those 4 fingers.
Yeah, here's 4.
Ooh, that's double shockers.
All right. So next week, Rogue One.
Rogue One, a Star Wars tale.
I'm excited to rewatch.
Yeah, same. I remember loving the hell out of that movie.
I will probably hate the same parts about it that I hated the first time, but I will still like the movie.
Yeah.
And I hate that Leia, and I hate that Grand Moff Tarkin.
Yeah.
So bad. Just get that out of the movie. Maybe I'll get my video editor out and cut it out of the movie and put it on the Plex. You'll be like, what happened to those scenes? They're gone. Hey, this movie is so much better now. All right, everybody. That's the show. Don't forget. Oh, you know what? I fucked up. So there might be a weird part in the beginning of our ratings, because if Sean sent a audio thing, I'll have to clip it in. I forgot to
just clip it in now.
Make a little space. No, I'm not going to clip it in. I'll clip it in the beginning, or I'll clip it in before we give our ratings.
He's going to give it. I'll put my money on. He's going to give it a 10.
A 9 or 10.
If he gives it a 9 or a 10, it makes it a certified good ass movie. So
yeah, it's a 9.
I'm sure it is, because he picked it.
Yeah, of course he's going to give it a 9 or a 10.
Well, I mean, I pick stuff I hate.
It'd be weird as fuck if he gave it like a 3.
He's on this viewing. It's a 4.
All right, everybody, that's the show. You know the drill. Eat your own ass. Go Orioles.
Go Birds.
Yeah. Gogs, you got anything to plug?
Just his butt.
You dirty asshole.
Yep, just that. My loose stool movements.
Oh,
You were gross. Good night, everybody.